This is the supplementary white book of Mr. Miles Kevin Condon, Senior Counsel of New Chambers in Sydney. And this matter is in relation to a tort damage case against him. And this was in relation to a leave to appeal application. Now, this folder is very important because it's evidence of tampered court documents, matter that was actually raised before Justices Leeming and Kirk in the New South Wales Court of Appeal. Leave to appeal application. So let's open it up. So we have their folder, and it's quite extensive documents. If you look at the table, you would actually see that the substantive documents they rely on is basically my documents, my affidavit, and exhibit documents. And yet, we have justices that state that there is no basis or evidence of any kind. Well, let's take a look. Most of it is all my documents. And so if you look at the affidavit, which is mine, it is pretty much separated in tabs. And that's fine. You can separate the affidavit and exhibits in tabs. But there's something you cannot and can never do. It is impermissible. It's also a criminal offense to tamper with one's court documents. Now, what did they do here? They have my affidavit, and then they separated my exhibit documents into tabs. Okay, that's fine. But what I find is that they've inserted documents into my exhibit documents. And you know, because my exhibit documents are paginated. These are not. These are clearly inserted. Who do you think inserted this? Who ran Mr. Miles Condon's case? DLA Piper, partner James Berg and his team. And we have two counsels from New Chambers, Mr. Anthony McInerney, Senior Counsel, and Miss Winnie Louie. So there are no page numbers, which means this is not my exhibit documents. However, they're representing it, and they filed it in court that this is my exhibit documents. This is a very, very serious matter. And of course, we raised it with the New South Wales Court of Appeal justices. Then you take a look at my folder, and here we have about 4 pages of tables of tampered court documents. And what you would find is that this will never appear in the judgment. The judgment will say there's absolutely no basis, no evidence of any kind. Now watch this. These two documents were actually side by side with the Supreme Court justices. They never stated to us in court that they said there's no evidence of any kind. That magically only appeared by ambush in their judgment. And so if you look through my documents, you will see it's all paginated, but there are certain documents that they have made sure to remove. And that is the actual appeal advice of Mr. Senior Counsel Miles Condon, the notice to produce that actually states what transpired, that there was court orders, notice to produce to court of a copy of the St. George contract, signatures by Sebastian Harford Davis of Piper Alderman Counsel, Banco Chambers. He even amended it. He signed off with my so-called barrister at the time, Nicholas Silva, and there's court orders there, you can see. And there's 3 events to produce the documents and the contract. Now, that's completely removed in Mr. Berg's DLA Piper's white supplementary book for Mr. Miles Condon. And then you will see in my documents, a lot of the things are missing. And then if you look at it, what they've actually inserted is the judgments. This is Magistrate Freund's judgment. This cover is actually quite important because Magistrate Freund recorded Odtojan lawyers who had nothing to do with that matter. There was no notice of appearance recorded ever. It was Tom Glynn. And we even have it in our own contemporaneous court notes, which she identified Mr. Glynn as instructing solicitor. Yet somehow it magically appeared in her judgment, Odtojan lawyers. And that was amended, not by Mr. Ford, not Mr. Glynn, who ignored me, but because I had to contact the court. Even though I was legally represented by counsel, and Mr. Glynn of Glynn's lawyers, they did not want to contact the court and correct the record. And that's because they wanted my name, my firm, Odtojan Lawyers, to be recorded in the judgment. Because in 2023, Mr. James Berg and many others, after that event, will be using that to target my firm and me and place me as a solicitor on the record who acted in my own case, apparently. And Mr. Ford even eliminated Mr. Glynn from his own accounts and documents. My case was very straightforward. I was just disputing that there's no existence of the contract, and it doesn't exist because neither the bank or anyone can produce that contract, not even Credit Corp themselves, not even Piper Alderman. And Ford and Glynn never saw any contract, but what they decided to do instead was actually hijack a case like a Trojan horse. He ran a completely different case to his own client's case and provided evidence at the bar table, creating a narrative that a contract was received and aligns it at the date of when an offer was made. So it shows that there's been a premeditated outcome and that they're all aligning themselves with Floor and Ammer. Yes, we have a serious problem here because Mr. Ford, Mr. Glynn, Mr. Condon had ignored their clients for almost 6 years at this time, and the judges are not recording it.